Serious, in the spirit of October, what's the creepiest or most paranormal experience that has happened to you? Oh boy, here we go. My house has been haunted for a while. My nana and my cousin lived here before me, and my parents and my cousin always used to mention the attic being haunted. Oddly enough, that's changed to the bathroom for me. My bathroom creeps me out. About a year or two ago, I noticed shadows moving in the bathroom. I managed to find somebody who could see ghosts, and there was a ghost there. There's also the ghost of a little girl in my house, but that's not scary to me. One day I had a good look for it and found it. It scared me so badly. I got rid of that ghost in my bathroom, which I later found out was actually a demon, and my bathroom felt safe. At school a week later, I dozed off in class and saw the exact outline I made out in the bathroom and shot back in my chair. It somehow followed me or something like that. Who or whatever it is, it's gone now, but I still feel like it lingers at school. It was the scariest moment other than papers in my room moving on their own with no wind in my room, which is from a poltergeist I currently still have, but doesn't bother me at all. Nothing. Like seriously. Nothing. I wish something would happen. I just want some sign that there is an afterlife or aliens. The only thing that comes close is when my son was around 3 or 4. So the scene is that my husband was driving to pick me up. There is a long stretch of highway that is pretty dark and deserted around the time he was picking me up. There is a tiny airport off the highway, but you can sometimes see small planes taking off or landing, but not the actual runway. Anyway, he calls me in a panic and is legit crying. I get off work and he tells me he got ran off the road by a pickup because he swerved to miss something that ran across the highway. It was just him and the other guy on the road. The guy asked him what it was, and both were like, who knows, but it was fast. The pickup left and my husband asked my son if he was okay, but when he looked back he said he saw a grey man at my son's window. Like an alien. Tall, grey, the whole 9 yards. He sped off all the way to my work and then called me crying, thinking that this thing was so fast, it would chase him and steal my son or kill them both. I of course don't to this day believe him. However, a few weeks later my son is drawing with sidewalk chalk and draws a semicircle and said it's the grey man's car. Which of course, could have been placed in his head by my husband. Final note. Later that night he was sitting on our recliner that broke and flew backwards and he screamed. He said, I swear I thought that grey man was sucking me through the wall, I almost died. TLDR, my husband saw an alien and thought it was going to kill him, so he sped all the way down the highway to the destination whilst crying hysterically. He has since passed away, so maybe now he knows the truth. When I was 14 we had lived in our house for a while and I knew that someone had died in our basement. I always got bad vibes when down there, and not just the oh someone died here vibes. When I would do laundry I would empty was into dryer, they were not really near each other. I would open the dryer, go to the washer, then go to put it in the dryer and it would be closed. Only a few times did it slam shut, most of the time it was quiet. My room was right above the laundry room. I had a TV in my room, and when we started to get ready to move it would randomly start changing the channel to the religious channel. I had my remote, and this was before the days where you could get universal remotes. I switched TVs with my brother and same thing happened. Then my lights would flicker and my computer would randomly do things like open Word. I never actually saw it, but I felt it. And couldn't wait to move. A shining gold flying saucer that was eventually revealed to be an airplane seen from a funny angle and reflecting the sunset. Spirit photography that upon closer inspection was actually the reflection of my flash off a bird's eye, hitting the lens. A pair of massive OWLs that were actually a pair of teenagers on a park bench. I was tired. My birthday falls on Friday the 13th every few years, ghost. When I was about 10 or so, I had my bedroom in the basement, since that's the only place my parents had for me. One night, I woke up with a creepy feeling running down my spine. Still lying down, I looked to the mirror above my dresser, and saw a girl looking back at me. It very well could have been my own reflection, but I was flat on my back, and there was a head and shoulders that I remember seeing. Just creepy for my youthful brain to comprehend. A long time ago in high school I was laying on a blanket in a field on a starry night with my then crush slash soon-to-be girlfriend. Great time for young uptown. We were looking up at the stars and we noticed maybe 3 or 4 little stars kind of dancing around. They weren't moving in straight lines like you'd expect a satellite to be doing. We kind of froze, watching them dance around. We were bewildered. Then they just sort of faded away. My date became sort of freaked out, so she got very close to me. I later used this closeness to start making out. Thank you, alien brothers. My entire family is from England, including me, but we moved to Australia when I was around 2 years old. Unfortunately, my great-grandmother Mary died around a year after I was born. Well, when we moved to Australia, every night for about a year or so, I would always see my great-grandmother every night, and she would talk to me and put me to bed. I'm always thought it was actually her, because I didn't know she died. I eventually told my parents, and they were super spooked. My friends used to see my doppelganger sometimes. I remember the first time it happened, me and a friend was home alone. I was in the kitchen making some snacks for us and my friend started talking to someone in the hallway. I yelled at her and she came running to me saying that she thought she was talking to me. The creepy thing is that this has happened to several different friends who don't know each other, so they couldn't have pranked me. It stopped showing a few years ago and I have never seen the thing myself. /looks outside / okay, it's still daytime, reads on. I was 24 and had just bought my first place, which was an old 2-unit building that was built in 1900. It was a mess and the whole place needed repainting. I would work all day, come home and have a quick bite and then start painting for hours until I went to bed, trying to get it ready to rent out. One night, I had a couple beers and was painting a bedroom and got to the closet. I went in and started painting, and a few minutes later while I was in the closet the door slams shut. I was home alone and I was terrified. Until I realized that for some reason the heating system had the air return inside the closet, so when the heat kicked on it created a negative pressure in the closet, and if the door was open around 6 inches or so it was enough to swing the door shut. Crisis averted. The other time was when I was a kid and my bedroom was in a daylight basement. I usually kept my door open at night because I was the only one who slept downstairs. One night I was in bed and I see a flash of light come from outside my bedroom. My heart started racing and I just laid there terrified. Every few minutes there was a flash. After a while I got the courage to get out of bed to see what it was. A fluorescent light bulb had gone bad and I had probably left the switch up by accident. Every few minutes it would flash. Also, I dream of dead people and other things that are oddly coincidental that have come true. I was working at small startup as an intern. Bus scenes was low, so I was tasked with automating video recording of the security cameras when movement was detected to save on disk usage. I configured the software and left the camera pointing at my desk. The next day I arrived at work and checked the videos. The first couple of videos were just people leaving for the day, but I saw a video at 3 a.m. My screen was on and my chair was spinning. My desk was right on a floor-to-ceiling window right next to the garden, and that garden shared the back wall with a funeral home. TL. Drive, my office was haunted and I caught on video. It is not the most creepiest, but I was creepy. I was doing a weekend hike with my Boy Scout troop on the Appalachian Trail. We hiked a day and came upon a barn which was a hot spot for thru hikers. It was a lot of fun and I heard a lot of stories about a guy who was hiking that seemed off. Supposedly the guy threatened a dog with his machete at a house and was kicked out. We spent the night at the barn and we left the next morning. We started hiking and we came across a man with a dog and was acting weird. I kept looking down, not trying to make eye contact, but I did see that he had a dog with him. I passed by without any trouble and finished the hike. Later week we found an article about a man that killed a woman and injured a man. In the article it had a picture of him and his dog, and it was the same dog that I passed by.